Hey guys, welcome to Matt in Exile, and today I'm going to be talking about the story from Russia and Ukraine. And as we all know, Russia is starting to pull out of Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine, due to the peace talks that are going on. They're trying to get agreements sealed up. But now the news media, as well as the Democrats, are pushing this thing that there are war crimes. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, because I haven't seen any of the footage. But normally when the news media is telling me this, I'm going to be skeptical. They're the ones that have lied to me about pretty much everything. Everything from the Hunter Biden laptop to Russiagate. So, when it's CNN telling me this, my first thought is I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. Because majority of things that are coming from them is completely bogus. Well, the other thing is, you have the Russia propaganda media doing the complete opposite, saying it's Ukraine's fault that this is happening. This Ukraine troops that are doing this thing to their own people. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't trust them as far as I can throw them either. So, who do you believe? I don't know who to believe, but I got some video to show you, so you can check it out. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. I also want your opinion. Comment down the bottom. Tell me what you think. Do you think Russia's to blame for all this, or is it Ukraine? Because when it comes to the media, it's hard to know what's actually true and not true, because there's so much disinformation out there about what's going on in this war.
Joining me now is a retired U.S. Army Major John Spencer. He's the chair of urban warfare studies at the Madison Policy Forum. He is no stranger to war, serving more than 25 years in the Army, including 2 combat tours in Iraq. He's also the author of the book Connected Soldiers. Major, thank you for being with us today. I want to get your take on what's been going on. You and I have been talking since actually before this war started, and you were talking about ways that Ukrainians can protect themselves, particularly in urban warfare. But now overnight, we have seen what has happened in these suburbs of Kyiv. The Russians have left, and what they have left behind is remarkable evidence of war crimes and atrocities. How does this change your thinking, if at all?
It has to change everybody's thinking, Ali. This isn't I study urban warfare. I've been in urban warfare. This isn't bombing of civilians that can be argued away as military targets. It takes an intimate, special kind of evil to wrap the hands of a civilian and shoot them in the back of the head. This is clear. War crimes is not the right word for me. It's evil. And if we don't stand up, I'm speaking for myself as a U.S. citizen, if we don't stand up, why are we a superpower? This isn't political. I'm pretty heated about this. You know that.
Joining me now is Christina Kyiv, the charge d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine. She's also a former director at the National Security Council, specifically for the European Union, Ukraine, and Belarus affairs. Ambassador, thank you for being with us tonight, this morning. I'm sorry. What is your reaction to what you have seen this morning? The areas around Kyiv that have been liberated or from which Russian troops have withdrawn, and then the carnage, the dead bodies, the apparent war crimes that we are witnessing?
Well, what we've seen in these horrible photos just reaffirms what President Biden stated recently, which is that President Putin is a butcher. He is going about this horrible war, unprovoked war, in an uncivilized way. And unfortunately, although he has pulled out of some towns surrounding Kyiv, this sort of butchery continues in Mariupol, in Kharkiv, and now we're seeing that he's firing missiles at Odessa. So unfortunately, this sort of barbarism continues.
Mr. Kozyrev, I'll be speaking very shortly to Tumas Ilves, who was the former president of Estonia. Obviously, these are former Soviet republics that became NATO countries, and while they are fearful of Russian expansion, they are guaranteed of a mutual defense with NATO. That is something that Ukraine does not have. It is something that Ukraine has asked for, and it is not being granted to them. They have asked for a no-fly zone, and there is great concern in the West, including amongst our viewers, that if NATO does look at this and step up its protection of Ukraine, including with things like no-fly zones or direct military intervention, it will trigger a nuclear war, something that Vladimir Putin has alluded to several times. How do we square this? How do we say that we cannot watch this imagery of these atrocities, these war crimes, this what is starting to look like a genocide, because we cannot risk nuclear war?
I believe that the situation is reverse, absolutely opposite to this logic that you should not provoke or you should not stand against Putin because he might resort to mini nukes or something like that. It's opposite. He learns, he like an animal, a predatory animal. He smells the blood. So he smelled it in Syria. He smelled it in Ukraine 8 years ago when they entered the Crimea and even annexed the Crimea brazenly. But don't confuse brazenness with bravery. They are brazen as long as they can get away with it.
Now, the biggest thing that's actually concerning me about these videos, as well as the way the media is going, and some of these Republicans and Democrats are going, they're advocating for the United States and NATO to get involved in this war in Ukraine, knowing what will happen. This could start a world war. This could start a nuclear war. And they don't think that's something to really think about. It is something you need to be thinking about, whether or not you get involved in something like this. And not only that, the other thing is you need to investigate it and make sure that it's 100% all true. Okay? Don't just go in there and say, hey, they got weapons of mass destruction. Then you find out later they don't have anything. Because then it makes you look like an idiot, like Iraq did. But guys, that's my opinion. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Peace.